What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Email Sound Booth podcast. If you listen live, I feel so freaking lucky. That's so awesome. We haven't had an episode in a few weeks because it was the holiday break, and now we are ringing in 2025. Holy mackerel. We are a quarter of the way through the 2000s, until 2100, right? Will I live to see 2100? I would be like 112. I might. I don't know. I just have this feeling that I'm going to live forever. And not in a like I'm invincible, in a oh my gosh, I'm just cursed to outlive everyone. Anyway, anyway, welcome to 2025. I think this episode is going to be less weird and more cool and exciting. But yeah, let's talk about my Liz Wilcox's business goals for the new year. I am going to keep this short because honestly, and I was going to end with this, but I think I'll start. All of these goals are really dependent upon my health. So I've shared but not shared that I've been on this health journey for, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 years. And in the last 4 years, I've just gotten like more and more sick. And if you don't know, I was on that show Survivor. At the time of this recording, I filmed that about a year and a half ago. And I think going on Survivor was the worst thing I could do for my physical health. Y'all, the ego is a strong, strong thing. I thought I was fine. I went on Survivor. I was completely malnourished for about 30 days. And I think I set myself back from any progress I had made in the last couple years. And I triggered a lot of things that were probably just laying dormant for a long time. So, anyway, this is not about my health, but I am, if you care about me, if you've been with me for a long time, I am getting better. The Q4 of 2024, I started seeing a naturopath, a therapist, and some other things. And excuse me, one moment. Here I'm talking about getting better, and I start coughing. I got a little bit of the Christmas crud here. But I started seeing some doctors, some health professionals, chiropractor. I'm doing all the things to get better, and I believe it is working. Hence why in 2024, I promised a lot for 2025. I'm feeling much better than I have in years and years and years. And so I'm feeling a lot of hope. But all of these goals, if you know me, you might think, oh, these goals seem kind of small, Liz. They really are because I am taking care of my health so much this year. I know, like, my word of the year is consistent. I know I have to be very consistent with the supplements I'm taking, with, catching up with doctors, you know, uh, just taking care of myself. And I need to be consistent in my business too. I have a business. You're listening. You're likely a customer of mine. If not, shout out my $9 a month membership. Check it in the show notes. Never too sick to be a shameless salesman here. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, the whole point is I need to be consistent with my health, with my business. Oh, I love my customers. I want to take care of them. So I need to take care of myself so I can deliver on the promises, the big promises that I've made this year. So really that's my number one goal, is to take care of myself so I can deliver on all the promises to myself, to my family, and to my customers, right? So let's get into like the numbers, the goals you thought I would be talking about now that I've rambled for 4 minutes. So right now, of course, always my main goal, what I'm obsessed with every day of my life, is my membership. And right now we are at 4,130 members in the membership. What I'd like to see is by, in the next 364 days, to get to 6,000 members. So that's a little less than 2,000 members. That means I have to uh, get, if we're not calculating in, so like net, I have to get 155 new members a month. Now in 2024, it was much lower than that. I would get a couple hundred a month, but I would get a lot of cancellations because I was not having my annual pass sale. So if you need to know about my annual pass sale, what that means, you can go back to episode 32 that talks about my Black Friday offer, but really that's an offer that I do usually 3 times a year. So I didn't do it last year, so the membership grew a little slower. People not re-upping the annual pass after a few years, and that's to be expected. That's totally normal, right? And I don't even want you to need email marketing membership for the rest of your life. So after a couple years, I want you to sort of fly the nest and write your own emails. Anyway, I am bringing that annual pass back. I'm going to launch it in March, July, and November of this year. I'm so excited about it. And so, again, I want to go from a little over 4,000 members to 6,000 members. My real goal is to eventually one day hit 10,000. And if you've been with me for a while, I've been wanting that for about 2 years now. But again, my health has really taken a front seat where, I can only do what I can do. And so I'm leaning into this year really more sustainable growth. And that's what I've done over the last 2 years. I've really proven to myself that, this is a viable business. It's a viable product. It's a long lasting product. EMM, my $9 membership, is about to turn 4 years old. And we have over 4,000 members. Like, that is something to write home about for sure. So again, I want to, a little less than 2,000 members I want to gain in the next year. And that's not just new members. That's like, at the end of the year, we will have 6,000 active members, paying members. Okay. Now let's talk about monetization. So let's say, excuse me, in 2022, the business made about $389,000. In 2023, we made about $490,000. So we gained about $100,000 in 1 year. And then this year, we did it again. We made about $570,000. So, again, that sustainable growth. No longer am I worried about that 7-figure in a year thing. Again, my health comes first. And I really actually like this slow growth. And it doesn't even feel slow. Like, nearly $500,000 for 2 years in a row. Holy cow, that's insane. That's a lot of money when I only have one employee. And I'm so happy about that. So this year I want to grow at that same rate. I didn't do the percentages, but we say 389, 490, 570. I'd like to make between $650,000 and $700,000. And I'd like the bulk of that to be from my annual pass so that we can grow that membership from, around 4,000 to 6,000. Now, my last goal, and actually I've got 2 more goals, and this is all about like audience growth. So let's talk about list growth first. So as you know, if you've been here with me, 2025, Liz Wilcox and the gang, email marketing membership is all about growing your email list. It's hard to grow all those other numbers if my email list isn't growing. So I just looked it up. I have 12,339 people on my email list. Now, I'd really like by the end of the year to have 20,000, but again, my health, right? I'd like that, but I'm not going to lose my progress with my body for that number. So I think a reasonable goal, a little like we're stretching, but not really, we're not like stretching so hard is to add 5,000 people to that list. So to have that number around 18, wait, what's 12 plus 5? 17,000. So yeah, somewhere between 17 and 18,000, I think is a more reasonable goal for me. But honestly, I do have 2 summits that are list building activities for me coming up. I am going to be launching the annual pass 3 times. So I don't think that 20,000 is completely, out of touch. It's not some random number. I do think we can reach 20,000. But for my nervous system, I'm going to say let's add 5,000 people. That feels a little less stressful. It feels very mindful, very demure for what is going on in my physical body right now. And then next, I want to grow my YouTube channel. So if you didn't know, I won a contest back at the end of October, I believe. And I am working with Ecamm now. It was an Ecamm contest for this podcast. So please, 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 number one, before I tell you the goal, please go to watchliz.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This video is up on YouTube right now. I'm going to start a live show. I'm going to start it probably about once a week. Patricia's going to be in it. We're going to have you, the listeners. I want you as guests. So don't worry, I'll be sharing more info on how you can do that later. But it's going to be really, really fun. And it'll be kind of like an email sound booth, like weekly wrap up or after show, something like that. I'm still going to keep these bite-sized audio podcasts for sure, but I want to grow my YouTube channel. So the secret exciting goal would be to grow it to 100,000 people by the end of the year, which it would of course make all those other numbers make it pretty obvious I would probably hit those. But again, my nervous system, my body, I have a crap ton of allergies, and my body's not really knowing how to regulate itself, and it's just attacking everything. So I need to keep everything kind of low key. And so I would be very, very happy with 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So anywhere between 25,000 to 100,000, I know with Ecamm's help, I can get at least 25K. And it really depends on my energy level, how and if I get to 100,000 by the end of 2025. That'll be so freaking exciting though, but I think I can do it. I feel like this podcast has so much potential, and once you see Liz Wilcox on video doing her thing when she has energy, it's bound to take off. Anyway, the last goal I want to end with is, and I think you could probably, once I say it, you're like, oh yes, that's very much the through line in which Liz set all these goals, is to have fun and don't sweat the small stuff. I know that the more fun I have, the more things will grow. That's why I'm doing some summits this year to grow my email list. I used to co-own a summit business, and I loved it. I think I loved it more than the other 3 that owned it. I had so much fun doing summits. So I'm going to do a couple audio summits this year. That's fun, right? That's going to help. I don't want my nervous system to, go in shock again. And so, my body starts attacking everything it eats. I don't want that. So I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to list grow in the way that sounds fun. I used to list grow with podcasts. Now that kind of tires me. I've been doing, 200 to 300 episodes in the last 4 years. And so I'm kind of tired of that. It's like, it feels like a grind. So I'm actually going to stop doing that. And I'm going to do these summits. I'm going to open up my launches again. And then even this podcast, I knew my vision for it, but I knew I couldn't do it myself. And that's why I pitched myself to Ecamm, and thank the internet gods that I won the pitch, and they're going to help me build out my studio, create my run of show, learn about YouTube, etc. It's a collaboration, and that seems fun. Normally, I work in a silo, right? I'm just sitting here in my office staring at this, little green dot to make this video for you, right? So, yeah, have fun. Don't sweat the small stuff. That was something I learned last year a lot. I had so much going on with my body, and I had so much going on with being on that show, Survivor. So many negative things to do with that show. I won't go into details, but you can imagine, it's broadcast to 125 different countries, watched by millions and millions of people. And I have social media. You can imagine some of the things that I heard and saw about myself. Anyway, that made me realize like I literally cannot sweat the small stuff because I'm doing so much to protect myself that I have to let go and surrender anything else. So I'm bringing that into 2025. I'm actually so happy to. I wish I didn't have to learn that lesson so hard, but here I am. Have fun. Don't sweat the small stuff. I think that's the through line of all of these goals. That's why they're not like, oh, I'm going to go from 4,000 to 8,000 members. I'm going to go from 560,000 or $70,000 to 1.5 million in a year. Like, no, that would be sweating all the small stuff. That would be no fun to do. So I'm going to have fun. I'm going to not sweat the small stuff, and I'm going to focus on slow, sustained growth this year. That sounds fun to me. All right. Now, if you want to come along for the ride, you want to see all this in action, you want to see, all parts of my business, you really should join email marketing membership. I do Q&A. You can see the type of content I'm creating. I'm going to do lots and lots of, behind the scenes stuff. It's $9 a month. I'd love for you to join and help me hit that 6,000 member goal in 2025. If you're already there, stick around. I've got lots in store for you. As always, I am Liz Wilcox. You are amazing. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Email Sound Booth podcast.